Hey guys, it's your favorite wannabe Jedi from Michigan, Caitlin, and it's Thursday, which means it's time for another Rebels recap. And sadly, this means with the airing of last night's episode, The Mystery of Chopper Base, this means we only have one more episode left in the season, and it's the episode we've all been waiting for ever since the mid-season trailer came out, and we got that sneak peek of the epic lightsaber duel between Ahsoka and Darth Vader. Next week is the season finale titled The Fall of the Apprentice, and it's going to be 1 hour. Thank you. It's bad enough when Star Wars Rebels is a half hour. I feel like we just get into the show and it's done with, so it's going to be so nice having an hour-long episode next week. Even if it is the season finale, and even if that bad feeling I'm getting comes true. But, let's not talk about that. We still have last night's episode to get through, The Mystery of Chopper Base, which happens to take place after last week's episode, The Forgotten Droid, which was, again, a really cute, lighthearted episode. If you haven't seen it yet, I definitely go check it out. We get to meet Chopper's new friend, AP5, who, along with Chopper, has created a really kind of unique friendship, kind of like R2-D2 and C-3PO. I admit, while I adore R2-D2, I think he is one of the coolest droids ever, and if I could, I would definitely own an R2-D2 of my very own, just like I would love to have a Chopper or BB-8 of my very own. I am not the biggest 3PO fan. Sadly, I thought it was cool when I was younger, but then I went away to college, and a couple of my professors, they were very much like 3PO, and it's like, oh my god. And then come back and seeing him, I'm like, no. I'd probably run away screaming, so, sorry, but AP5 is kind of cool because he's very sarcastic and bratty, so I think he's perfect for Chopper. So, definitely go check out The Forgotten Droid if you haven't seen it yet, or check out last week's vlog. But this week, we are talking about The Mystery of Chopper Base. Finally, at long last, for most of this season, the Ghost crew has been trying to find a somewhat permanent base for the Rebels so that they're able to take a break, catch their breath, and they have a place to regroup after being a thorn in the Emperor's side. Finally, after what seems like months and months of searching, they finally found one. Thanks, of course, to Chopper's new pet friend, AP5. And we get a cool look at this base when the Ghost crew is finally delivering some final supplies. Now, it looks very, dry and dusty and hot, and I saw it and I went, Tatooine? But it's not. It's some kind of other weird planet. And according to the people on Rebel Recon, it's actually located far off from any major hyperspace routes or anything, which means it's relatively protected from the Empire. And as they also point out, while the Empire is trying to expand its territory, they're doing it in an orderly fashion. First, making sure that the areas they have under their control are firmly under their control before going out and getting new territories. So for the moment, the Rebels are somewhat safe. Now, we know that it's not going to be totally 100% permanent, but for now they have it, so they're safe. Yay. They found a base. But this means that now that the Rebels have a base, it's time for Kanan, Ezra, and Ahsoka to go on their own journey to find ways to beat the Inquisitors and maybe even beat Darth Vader. So that way, with the Inquisitors out of the picture, the Jedi are no longer luring these people who want to destroy them to the fleet, which in turn brings the Imperials to the Rebels. So they need to find a way that maybe keep them safe. So in order to get prepped, we see a practice duel between Ezra and Kanan. It is so awesome. Ezra has definitely come a long way from when he first got his lightsaber and couldn't even hit a bucket head helmet by deflecting a blaster bolt. So it's really cool seeing that he and Kanan are kind of on the same level with their lightsaber dueling, especially when they tie and Ezra says, "Oh, we tied again. How are we ever going to win?" And Kanan goes, "Well, there's no tying. You win by surviving." And Ezra gets distracted by Sabine talking, and Kanan comes up behind him, and luckily Ezra catches him, and Kanan goes, "Never turn your back on your enemy." And Ezra says something that really struck me was, "Since when are you my enemy?" And it's like, wow, that's really interesting. Since when Since in what universe would Kanan be Ezra's enemy? But then again, I think that, and I remember one of the rumors is that next week's episode, The Fall of the Apprentice, Ezra is going to be so tempted by the dark side that he's going to actually turn, and not like turn in the first season where he gave in and summoned a monster and then fainted, like actually turn, and then that would kind of make him and Kanan enemies, and I'm thinking that I'm going, oh god, no, don't let that happen, okay? I am so hoping that doesn't happen, but that really kind of struck me, because I really don't know in what universe would Kanan and Ezra ever be enemies. When would they actually be going all out trying to fight each other? But that's just me. Meanwhile, the rebels are putting up sensor beacons around the base so that if anybody or anything comes near, they'll know and they'll be able to determine whether they have to fight back or not. One of the people doing this is a Lieutenant Dicer. Now, she goes out to set out one of the last sensor beacons. But while she's out there, she gets taken, or eaten, I think it's eaten, by something creepy and crawly and nasty and just wrong. So, she doesn't come back and she's missing. But meanwhile, back at the base, while Dicer is getting eaten, Hera's kind of not happy. She's not too thrilled with Kanan going off and, of course, taking Ezra. I mean, archetype of the Ghost Crew, Hera is the mom, Kanan is the dad, so of course Hera wouldn't be too thrilled with dad going and taking the baby of the family off on a dangerous adventure and, well, maybe not coming back. But they can't discuss that because news comes in that Lieutenant Dicer is missing. She went out to place a sensor beacon and never came back. So, Sabine and Rex, yay! He's so awesome. Sabine and Rex say, oh, we'll go look for her. And they go out, find the sensor beacon, no Dicer. And they're like, okay, what happened? And all of a sudden, the big, ugly, the creepy, they're like a cross between spiders and hermit crabs. They're huge and they're gross and Okay, the only spider I like is a tarantula because you can hold them and they're nice and you can keep them as pets. These were not nice. Okay, they were gross and evil and they tried to fight them and they couldn't fight them and they took Rex. And I'm like, no, they're going to eat Rex. And I was like, no. Oh, I forgot to say spoilers. Spoilers. I keep forgetting that. I'm like, no, they took Rex. They're going to eat him. No, he can't end that way. He's like a hero and so on. And they go, so Rex gets taken and Sabine, she manages to put in a call for help, which gets the rest of the Ghost Crew coming. And they get there and they're like, okay, we gotta go find Rex. We have to save him. He's like, cool. He's awesome. And so they go into like the creepy labyrinth. Okay, this is what is bugging me about this episode before I go off in a total tangent. The whole thing, the labyrinths that they go into, like where the creepy, crawly spider crabs live, I am so stupid because I keep watching Rebels and I keep linking it back to certain episodes of Clone Wars, and in this case, my mind went back to, I can't remember the name of it. The one where Barriss and Ahsoka go to blow up the droid factory, and they do it by creeping through the labyrinth of tunnels underneath it. And I keep thinking, oh my gosh, now I know, it just reminds me. But then again, I had to remind myself that Dave Filoni and most of the creators and producers and stuff of Rebels were also the people who did Clone Wars, so there's a lot of overlap between ideas and maybe plot lines and stuff, but it's really interesting. And of course it doesn't help because that was the episode I was watching yesterday before Mystery Tower Base, but anyway. So, they go into the labyrinth and it's dark and it's creepy and everybody has a flashlight except for Kanan and Ezra because they don't need flashlights because they have their lightsabers. Lightsabers, one of the coolest, most amazing weapons ever created. It can cut through pretty much anything. It is cool, awesome, and apparently a very good flashlight. I don't know, it seems like a lot of the episodes they use them more as flashlights than what they're actually designed for. So, yeah, lightsabers. Flashlights. Okay. When they come to a fork in the road, they realize they have to split up in order to find Rex. So usually the idea is Kanan takes one group, Ezra goes with the other, so that each group has one Jedi with them. Well, not this time. Hera rules that instead of Ezra and Kanan splitting up with like Sabine and her and stuff, she decides that this time around it's going to be her, Zeb, and Sabine going through one of the forks, while Kanan and Ezra go through the other. Now Zeb points out, shouldn't there be one Jedi with each group? And Hera says we have to get used to not having them around. Because it is kind of true. You get so used to having a Jedi around, and they're so really good warriors and stuff that you kind of forget how to really be able to do anything on your own, I guess. So they have to get used to them not being around, which is kind of sad. But true. Luckily, though, Hera, Sabine, and Zeb find Rex. Yay, he's still alive. He wasn't eaten. Yay. No Dicer, which leads me to believe Dicer was sadly eaten. She was lunch. But Rex is okay. Yay. And they finally meet up, and they dash back out of the labyrinth and meet up with Kanan and Ezra. And they're getting ready to go, and they get on the Ghost, and then they realize they can't take off because the stupid spider crabs have locked the Ghost down to the ground with webbing. And they're attacking, and they have like really hard armor, so you can't, the only way to like destroy them is for Kanan and Ezra to like use the lightsabers, or for them to shoot them in the eyes. Again, I say these spider crab creatures are so freaking creepy and terrifying. I swore I was gonna have nightmares last night. I didn't, thank God. But then Sabine realizes and goes, aha, the sensor beacon. They won't go near the sensor beacon. They don't like it. So Kanan and Ezra use the Force to toss Sabine over to go get the sensor beacon, which she does, nearly missing it. But she grabs it and she uses it to ward off the spider crab so that Kanan and Ezra and them can cut through the webbing, which means the Ghost can lift off, and yay, they save the day. But then again, Hera is worried because she's like, oh my gosh. They're like going, okay, maybe the space isn't such a good idea. We've got these giant spider crab thingies that are pretty much indestructible, and what are we going to do? And Hera's like, no. We are going to fight for the space, and we're going to keep the space. And she does that by building a fence of sensor beacons, which works, so yay. But of course, by the end of the episode, it's time for Ahsoka is back, so it's time for Kanan and Ezra to go. Which leads us into some really cute moments, sweet, touchy moments. One of the first ones I talked about was Hera and Kanan trying to talk about this. Hera doesn't really want to talk about Kanan and Ezra leaving, especially since Kanan now finally accepts that he is a part of the rebellion. He has a role to play, you know? He kind of, as a Jedi, he's kind of become a symbol of hope for some of the rebels, that the Jedi were these great warriors, the peacekeepers, and they're pretty much gone. Well, look, here's one right here. He's surviving. He's teaching another student, and there's Ahsoka. She's another one, so there's 3 of them, and they're surviving, so maybe there's hope that things will get better. So they're basically symbols of hope. So he's accepted that. But again, like I said, Hera's not thrilled with him and Ezra going off. And then there's another moment with Zeb that they previewed on the Star Wars YouTube channel, of Zeb and Ezra sitting together in like what I guess was supposed to be like a campy throwback to an 80s beach scene. I mean, Zeb's just lounging there going, hi, with like a drink in his hand. He's like, come, watch the sunset with me. And they're trying not to make a big deal out of it. They're trying to be brave. I was just like, you know I have to leave soon. And Zeb's like, yeah, I know. And Ezra's like, we'll be back soon. And Zeb's like, well, by the time you get back, we'll probably have beaten the Empire. But that one remark is letting credence to the rumor, and apparently it has been confirmed, that between the end of this season, so between the season finale next week and when Star Wars Rebels comes back, there's going to be a time jump. Again, it kind of makes sense. There was sort of a time jump in Season 3 of Clone Wars, and also the rumor is there going to be some character redesigns. So it fits with the timeline and so on. So we might be looking at a time jump between Season 2 and 3 of Rebels. Which, it wouldn't be that unheard of, especially since they're trying to bring Rebels closer to Episode 4, A New Hope, closer to the Rogue One movie. So, we might be seeing, it might be just a minor time jump, maybe a few months, it might be a year or two, we don't know yet. Like I said, it hasn't been like officially confirmed. Some people are saying it has, but Zeb's comment about by the time they see each other again, they might have beaten back the Emperor makes me think that it really is going to be some sort of time jump. And so it is. Throughout this episode, Ezra tries to connect connect with the spider crabs. And like I said, his ability to connect is just so really powerful and amazing, and I just think it's a natural ability. There's just some things you are just good at, even if it's a force skill, and I think that's something he's really, really good at. And he's done it so much this season, and he's had so much success in doing it. The Purr Girls, the Cat Loft Cat, everything. He's done so well with it. So why not try it with the spider crabs? Except that it doesn't work. The spider crabs, it just doesn't work with them. And that frustrates him and makes him confused. And I admit that I feel the confusion too, because it's like, wow, he's so good at this. Why isn't it working on them? And so at the end of the episode, he has tried it, and it's still not working, and he's like, oh, he's feeling frustrated and hopeless, and then, yay, Ahsoka shows up, so yay, that made me so happy when I saw her. I'm like, yay, and I freaked out. But she shows up, and Ezra says, look, I've been trying to connect with these things, and it's not working, and I don't know why. Why isn't the Force working for me? And Ahsoka's like, well, you think you know everything about the Force, and then it kind of throws a monkey wrench in there, and suddenly you don't know. So it's kind of like, ta-da, you think you know everything? Here's something you don't know. So the Force surprises you. You can think you know everything. Obviously you don't. Dave Filoni said in an episode thing about the Mortis arc, he didn't want to go too far into the behind the scenes about Mortis because it was such an episode based around the mythicism, the myths of the Force and stuff, and the plan and how it all works. And he says he didn't want to go too far into it because he wants people not to know so much. So I think this is the same idea that Ezra thinks that you think you know everything about the Force. Well, you don't really. So I don't know. It's confusing, but cool. So obviously there's still more about the Force that Ezra still has to learn. That we as fans, apparently, we still have a lot to learn because obviously if Ezra is running into stuff he doesn't fully understand, then we are running into the same stuff. So, and actually one of the storybook guys pointing out that Ezra is seeing the Force through his eyes, through the eyes of a teenage boy, and connecting with it in ways that relate to him and the times he's living in. While Kanan and Ahsoka, when they were younger, and they were connecting to it in a different way, so the way the Force is being used has kind of changed because now you have to use it on a different level. So you kind of have to be secretive about it and not so open these days. So definitely the Force is kind of, we don't know everything yet, and the way that you use it is changing. So it's just interesting, confusing, but my favorite moment at the end of Mystery at Chopper Base was definitely another Hera and Kanan moment. I'm sorry, I am cheering for them so much because I just want them to officially get together. It has been confirmed that Hera and Kanan both have more than just friendship feelings for each other. They like each other. They love each other. I'm just waiting for it to actually be declared official that Hera and Kanan are together. And I've been waiting for that since I first saw Rebels. I'm like, yes, they need to be together. Come on, come on. And there's like every single episode, I'm like, kiss, no! I will literally sit there and chant to my TV for them to kiss at the end of Fire Across the Galaxy. And like to have Chopper come in, I'm like, no, Chopper, no! Terrible, worst timing ever. But Hera and Kanan share this really touching moment at the end of Mystery at Chopper Base because Hera walks off and Kanan's like, what's wrong with Hera? And Sabine's like, wow, you're really stupid, aren't you? You're about to go off on this dangerous mission and you're taking Ezra with you, okay? You're taking the 15-year-old with you on this dangerous mission, and we don't know if you're even going to come back alive. If either of you are going to come back. So Kanan goes off and he tries to comfort Hera, and it kind of works. And Hera says one thing that's very funny. She's like, I know when you're lying. And I'm like, wow, I want to be her when I grow up. But yeah, it's kind of sad. I did cry a little bit. I did, okay, maybe a lot more than a little bit. But it was sad because Kanan and Hera mean so much to each other. They've been part of the Ghost Crew the longest. Kanan was like, after Chopper was, has been by Hera's side the longest doing this. and they've been through so much together, so obviously, and it's clear, we know they're close, we know they're like almost boyfriend and girlfriend, so it's gotta be hard on both of them. I mean, Kanan spent so long denying his Jedi past that he was even part of the Order, and now he's done a total 180 and he's so back into being a Jedi because now he's got Ezra to teach, and of course he's officially a knight now, and she's his best friend and his girlfriend, so it's gotta be hard on both of them. And for Hera, she knows what Jedi can do. She's seen it because she said she remembers the Jedi and the clones saving her home. But at the same time, this is new territory. She doesn't really know where Ahsoka, Kanan, and Ezra are going. She doesn't know what trouble they're facing. And unlike in other times when she's been by their side to help them, they're not going with the Ghost Crew, so it's totally foreign territory, and obviously she's not exactly comfortable with the idea of them going, but she's not going to stop them. She knows they have to do this, and he says we will see each other again, we're going to come back, and everything will go well, so cross your fingers. I am crossing my fingers, I am crossing my toes, because, I literally started crying at the end of last week's episode thinking about all the bad things that can happen next week in the season finale. So I'm trying to hold it together, but I'm sure I will start bawling. So that was the Mystery of Chopper Base. It was a really good episode. Kind of felt like a little bit of filler, but then again, I don't think they wanted to jump right from the lighthearted, the forgotten droid into what is going to be emotionally, mentally intense, the Fall of the Apprentice. So, and just that title, The Fall of the Apprentice, could mean so many things. But at this point, with Kanan now being a Jedi Knight, there's only two people that I guess the title of Apprentice could really be given to, and that is Ezra and Ahsoka, but technically I don't even think of Ahsoka as an apprentice. I think of her as a Jedi on the same level as Kanan, because I think she went through all the trials, she just didn't get knighted, so, but again, it's going to be a really intense, probably devastating episode, so, I'm excited, so, while this felt like filler, I think it was a good choice to put in a filler episode. And it definitely kind of showed how the different members of the Ghost Crew are dealing with the fact that soon Kanan and Ezra will be gone. They'll be missing two of their family members, and so we get to see how they're dealing with it. Sabine, she's on the fence. She won't really say anything. Hera, of course, is pretty much upset and devastated. She doesn't want this to happen. And Zeb, he's just going to try and be big and macho and be a warrior about this. This is something that has to happen. He may not like it, but he's going to accept it and roll with the punches. And it was just a good episode. I'm definitely, like I said, I'm really excited for next week, Fall of the Apprentice. I will link to Rebels Recon below. And make sure you watch Rebels Recon all the way to the end, because they do show a sneak peek for Fall of the Apprentice, and it is such a good sneak peek because it involves a conversation between Rex and Ahsoka, and it takes me back to the first time Captain Rex ever met Ahsoka Tano on Christophsis, the planet. I can't speak because I'm getting so choked up. And it was really sweet, and it goes back to their first conversation about experience. So, it's really sweet, and I've actually watched it twice now, and I gotta get tissues. But yeah, so next week, season finale, Fall of the Apprentice. So cross your fingers that everybody makes it out okay. That Ahsoka beats Darth Vader back, and Ezra does not go dark, and it will all be okay at the end of it. I am hopeful and I am optimistic. I am the eternal optimist. Everything will be bright and sunny and fluffy and full of cupcakes and candy. Yay! And just watch me be devastated next week. But Fall of the Apprentice, make sure you have tissues if you're a crier like me. I will definitely be probably crying. So tissues. Get your friends together, get your family, get anybody you know who's a Star Wars fan to watch Fall of the Apprentice, because apparently we're going to have a very special character. And I will give a hint, it is the character who gives me nightmares. So yay. So I will link to Rebels Recon below to help you guys get ready for Fall of the Apprentice. Also, do not forget Star Wars. This is Madness Character Tournament. It's happening now at StarWars.com. Today is the first day of voting for the final 16. And today, for the light side, you're voting between Obi-Wan Kenobi and R2-D2. And for the dark side, Darth Vader and Jabba the Hutt. Let's just say currently, Obi-Wan is kicking R2-D2's tush, and Jabba has no chance against Darth Vader. I don't even know how Jabba made it into the final 16. So anyway, go check out the Star Wars This Is Madness Character Tournament and vote for who you want to make it to the championship. I know who I want, and I know who I want to win, but I don't think it's going to happen. The voting lasts for a day until Friday. During the Friday, they don't do voting on Saturday or Sunday, so the last vote on Friday will last from Friday through Monday, and then they'll pick up the voting. Every day will change from Monday through Friday, so check back every day and start cast your votes. So, this was my Rebels recap for Mystery at Chopper Base. I will be back next Thursday for the 1 hour season finale of Star Wars Rebels, The Fall of the Apprentice. So, get ready, get your tissues, get your blankets and your stuffed animals, and get ready for an emotional, mentally draining, intense season finale. I'm Caitlin, the wannabe Jedi from Michigan, and may the Force be with you.